Wanted to give you a brief update. I normally have solicited advice on Thursdays, but this week I will be hosting that conversation tomorrow at 10 a.m. And the title of it is God's Love and Business. So I have a great guest. I've been connected to him for a while on LinkedIn. So I will be covering this on Substack, but we'll be live on other platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and I think YouTube. So we're going to be having a great conversation around his personal testimony, his life, and what he has been doing to build his ministry in an authentic way with the youth and with cancer patients, as well as survivor family members with cancer. So if you want to know more, tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. And also just want to update that my son, he is in the state championship for wrestling. I wasn't much of a wrestling fan. That football and all the other things that he participates in, I just get really nervous about injuries and things of that nature. But this is something that he is pressing forward with. And so his competition is this Friday and Saturday. So I'm really excited for that and asking for everybody to cheer him on and have prayers of safety, not just for him, but for all the participants for this event. They come far and wide to compete for the state in Georgia. So really excited about that. But if you have any questions around um, Christian principles and business, I encourage you to just put them in the thread, and that will be talking points for our conversation tomorrow. I want to make sure that I address anything that anyone may be interested in so that we can have a very dynamic, robust interview. And along the lines of the Christian principles, we do have a show that will be launching in August of 2026, and it is called Meet Me in the Boardroom. It is a group of business owners that have come together on Zandra TV Network to highlight some of the Christian principles that sometimes get compromised in business. And so we each have a different dynamic of business that we discuss. So my um, contribution was around collaboration. I have really had a strong change in my mindset regarding collaboration. Although I have a big family and it requires me to work as a team, I was raised as an only child. So I was used to being independent, doing a lot of things on my own. And oftentimes it was hard for me to ask for help because I believed it was a sign of weakness. But it wasn't until one day I was praying or meditating. I mean, I can't remember, but I do know the message that I heard loud and clear. And I believe that God said, so you believe that Jesus died on the cross for everybody since, he was saving the whole world. And if he had 12 disciples, what makes you think you could do it by yourself? So that really was a mic drop for me. Uh, my whole mindset shifted and I have not been the same since. I believe that we are all here to help each other. And a lot of times we lose sight of that because we get so focused on our goals and aspirations, and we can start living in fear, thinking that somebody is going to take our piece of the pie or, they're going to try to steal something from us or something. At least that was my mindset. But I have learned that through collaboration, I can go on vacation. I can take a nap. I can take a day off. I can do other things with my family, and other people come alongside and we support each other. And so we hold each other up, especially when life gets busy and chaotic. Um, it's not just about extracurricular activities for your kids, but it's also lifetime changes or milestone events. One of my daughters has a wedding in April. Then my son, who's in wrestling, he graduates in May. Then I have another daughter who graduates from college in May. So it's just a lot of things that happen in our life and in other people's lives. You know, sometimes when we're dealing with our business, we just ignore the fact that other people could be going through things too. You know, they may have a promotion, they could be celebrating anniversaries. So many different things could be going on. And when we get so focused and tunnel vision on our own life and business, we sometimes miss those opportunities to give each other grace or to support one another when the going gets tough or things just get kind of crazy and chaotic. So, my guest tomorrow is Paul Clayton, and you can follow him on LinkedIn. He is doing great stuff on Instagram, Facebook. He has these little mini videos, and we'll talk about those tomorrow. But again, if you have any questions that you would like to ask around godly principles and business, feel free to put them in the thread. Um, because we would love to hear your questions so that we can speak directly to the things that you would like addressed. And just another reminder, you know, we just had the Super Bowl. My team, you know, they made it to the Super Bowl. However, they were not victorious. But, you know, I feel like they're still winning because they made it to the final game, right? The Patriots. And it's so funny. I'm one of those fair weather fans, just putting it out there for the Super Bowl. Never watched the series too much, but I'm always a fan of the Super Bowl, right? You know, I pick a team probably a couple days before, and then that's that. It's all in fun for me, right? So they lost, but a fun fact is one of the players went to school with my kids, and so he went to the pros. So, you know, I thought it was really amazing. So, remember that, you know, winning doesn't always look the same for everybody. I think this is an important point. You know, I do have on my Indiana University shirt as we were college football champion game. We won that. But winning doesn't look the same, right? Winning is getting to the final round sometimes. You know, there's things that we still can have as a winner that are not the most obvious things. I think, you know, this is what's so important about mindset, because if you feel like a loser, then that can be your outcome, right? But we still can win, right? You make it to the final game, you know, you still have achieved quite a lot. You know, you won 17 games, lost 3. Well, now, you know, you lost 4. So 17-4, that's still a great record. So I think, you know, we need to look at what were some of the things that we learned on the journey. How can we leverage some of the things that are still an opportunity that aren't always um, out in the open for everybody to notice, right? So it's up to us to dig a little deeper and to find creative ways to leverage some of these things because it simply is a mindset, right? I know that if I had the opportunity to um, meet and greet with the players of the Patriots, even though they didn't win, I would be all over that. You know what I mean? Because it's a great opportunity to network. You don't know what other opportunities can come from that. So I just challenge everybody to remember that winning doesn't look the same for everybody. You know, it's all in your mind. It's how you're going to move forward, what you're going to do. You know, that's going to encourage other people and even encourage yourself and keep you moving in the right direction. So remember to mark your calendar for tomorrow. It's Wednesday instead of Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for an episode of Solicited Advice, God's Love and Business with Paul Clayton. So wishing you guys a wonderful um, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And again, remember to put those questions in the chat because we would love to answer them live for you tomorrow. Have an amazing day and share it with a friend. Tell them to tune in. If you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out to me because I just love having dynamic conversations with dynamic people. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.